before we get started here on Across the Bar, we always learn a little bit about kind of how you got in the business. So what was your story?
I worked in compounding pharmacy for 6 years.
Okay.
And
a pharmacist, that's actually perfect for this. It's got to be.
Kind of crosses over a little bit. Traveled around for about 6 months, just going to different places on the East Coast, and eventually just kind of had it, set in my mind that, this is what I want to do.
So in the area of whiskey bars, so you guys, of course, seem to be focusing on a varietal of whiskeys. Are you finding that consumers are really kind of, embracing the fact that whiskey is kind of now a trending spirit?
Absolutely. It was one of those things when we first opened. I went to the store right down the street and bought a bottle of George C. Stagg and Van Winkle rye off the shelf. You can't do that anymore.
Right.
Everything is becoming so popular that it's really great that there's so much interest, but I've had to change my well whiskey because we're doing like half-price whiskey. We go through a lot of it.
Interesting.
Because of that, I've had to change my well 3 times where I can't get the different products in volume enough for us to be able to keep things in stock. And that's for, the entry-level whiskeys all the way up to the Van Winkles and things that we're doing.
Do you find like craft spirit makers might start to implement, maybe some new trends in this market where you would see maybe more rollover of whiskeys rather than kind of the staple products that are out there in the industry like Kentucky bourbon and, the Japanese whiskey varietals? There's
been a lot of American whiskeys popping up, like different single malts and things like that. You see a lot of people doing these like tiny barrels that have been aged this particular way, and it's one of those things where I have a science background, like I believe in science, but I generally try to keep science and whiskey in a separate category in my mind. It's one of those things where I've had so many different whiskeys where people try to change the idea that it takes time and know how to make a product and say, well, technically this particular charred mini barrel will give you the same flavor profile. No, it doesn't. This is the Carry to Ohio.
All right, Julian, this looks pretty good here. What do we have floating here on top?
Just a dash of Angostura, more or less just floating right on top, so it just kind of pops you in the face with all the aromatics.
All right, so Julian, talk to us a little bit about what's in this drink, first of all.
The gin definitely is a lighter style gin, the Bombay dry gin, but it's got a little bit of Benedictine, so you get a lot of the honey, you get a little bit of bee pollen, again going with that same theme. One of our favorite bands is the National. I feel like every third song that plays on our playlist is the National. And they have this one song, Carry to Ohio, and a swarm of bees. So it's taking a lot of those things related to bees and this guy's hometown, kind of combining them together, and just kind of fun and different. Trying not to scare everybody away. Some people don't like whiskey.
Right, sure. Give them a little variety.
Another drink that's not whiskey.
Okay.
The Beverages Mortos. You always have to say it like
Drink
it's
of the dead.
Yeah, like a little sitcom, like Beverages Mortos. But it's a tequila drink, again, super light and refreshing.
All right, so tequila, whiskey bar. Well, you're going off track here.
Again, it's one of those things where whiskey's something that's super important to me. It's kind of the backbone to transitioning into this was something really, really nerdy about. But that being said, sometimes you have to expand outside of the comfy zone. This is a perfect example of doing that to people that maybe don't think they like tequila. I think it's a great approachable drink.
Yeah.
It's still a sour like a margarita, but it's a little bit different, a little bit more edgy.
It has a lot of margarita tones in it, so you're not deviating so far away, but yet you're kind of guiding them down a path of discovery here with tequila, which is kind of cool. I like that, the way you put that construct together. Break this drink down for me. What all's in here?
Dry curacao, so it's kind of a little bit less residual sugar than some of the other orange liqueurs.
Okay.
That tequila, Coqui Americano, it's a white wine aperitif. And then a tiny bit of lemon juice. Right up front, like I said, I put a little bit of that red bell pepper in, and the earthiness from that goes really well with the tequila. and then a tiny bit of grapefruit and hop bitters on top, again, just for that real big,
Okay.
kind of summery aromatic.
Kind of pops it right there. Perfect, yeah. Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah. I think you're right. You know, well, I love whiskey, so for me that's a knockover. I like the way that you have kind of put together some different flavors here, which is unique. When you break this drink down for a guest that maybe is used to a Manhattan or used to, you know, a certain type of whiskey, maybe even like a Japanese whiskey or something like that, because I would come in and say, what can you make with a Yamazaki 12? For me, that would be mine. But how would you talk me into that drink?
So one of the things that we've done here, these three drinks have all been pretty light and refreshing.
Yeah.
Our menu from top left down gets progressively stronger. So this is one of the lighter drinks that's on there. If you go to the bottom right side, if you're into the Manhattans and those kind of drinks, we have, you know, Quadrophenia is this drink that's got Ameripicon and vermouth, a strong rye whiskey.
Oh.
And it's just a big old drink, and you know, it's one of those things where we try to build a menu that no matter who you are, you could come in here and you know, find something you like.
Well, it's a nice finish. I like the mixture that you've got here. Of course, it's got a kind of that really a citrusy feel. I noticed you put some, was it lime juice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's interesting that you've kind of blended that in with that kind of a sweet froth on top, which is really nice. So is this one of the more popular drinks you said?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We sell a few hundred of those a week. You know, I think we sold like 150 of them last Wednesday alone.
That's good. Well, Julian, as usual, thanks for inviting us into Pinewood. It's been a nice couple of drinks here. Thanks for having us.
Heck yeah. Thanks for stopping in. It was a pleasure.